What's going on, everybody? It's been a little while since I made a video. The new iPhone 12 had been announced some time ago, and I figured, you know what, while I'm coming back, why I might be discussing, or why I'm going to be discussing, why I'm probably going to be switching over. Um, I've always been an Android fan, but I think it's time for a change, but I have some concerns. Uh, don't forget to check me out on Twitch and Twitter at Deltron_210. All the links are down below. And again, I do stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Let's get into this discussion. Okay, the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max has been announced some time ago. And I was kind of looking over the specs. I love the way that it looks. It brings back like an iPhone 5 type of look and feel. And I'm pretty excited for it, to be honest with you. Just strictly because of the way that it looks. They've given it this really, really good, sleek look. I will say that the capacity is a little bit concerning to me. On most Android devices, you can actually go up to 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes if you wanted to increase your storage. But as far as capacity on the new iPhones, the max storage is going to be anywhere between 128 gigs to 512. But I've been looking more into as far as smaller phones. You know, I have the Samsung S10 Plus. And as much as I love my phone to death, sometimes I just feel like it's too big. You know, the more, you know, I used to be really into phones. I used to like really look into the specs, what's different from one Android to another Android, or what's the difference between an Android and an iPhone. And I always felt that Android was always a clear winner, just because they're always thinking outside of the box. Compared to iPhone, their interface has barely even changed basically since day one, since iPhone has been out. But with the changes that they've currently made so far in this specific device, I think I might be switching. The display sizes, again, you have the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. The iPhone 12 is going to be 6.1 inches on screen display, and then the other one is going to be 6.7. I'm actually looking at the specs right now. I'm pretty impressed with the. Now I'm pretty impressed with the video recording style. Sorry about that. And as far as streaming and OLED display that they have on the actual screen itself. It can record, and I've been doing a lot of recordings lately, as far as videos on my phones that I haven't released yet. But 4K video recordings can actually be recorded at 24 to 60 frames per second. And as far as 720 and 1080p, can go anywhere between 30 to 60 frames per second. And of course, they have the slow motion, which can go at 1080p at 240 frames per second. And of course, you also have a night mode that's built into the camera itself. Now, the only thing that I currently have noticed from most phones that end up coming out is the battery size. You know, the battery size is definitely important for an everyday user, kind of like myself. Again, my S10 Plus generally gets me through the day. Pretty much the whole day, just depending on how heavy I'm actually using it. But because I've been working from home for quite some time now, I binge watch a lot of Netflix, and it generally gets me through half the day if I ended up continuously binging and not just listening to music all day. But the only thing that I really haven't liked from iPhone for a while is that they don't really specifically tell you how big the battery is. They just kind of tell you how many hours it can last. Now, according to the specs, the regular iPhone 12 could last up to 11 to 17 hours on video playback, so streaming, watching movies, etc., etc. And according to this, which I'm very surprised. It would actually last up to 65 hours if you just ended up doing an audio playback, so music or podcast. So if you just ended up just listening straight audio, it could last just audio, nothing else. You're not doing anything else. You're looking at 65 hours. Now, the Pro Max, the video playback on that one is anywhere between 12 to 20 hours. So only a couple hours more than the original 12. And then the audio playback on that one would be 80 hours. Now, again, it does have a lithium-ion battery with fast charging, which I'm really happy about that. I've always loved fast charging, and especially for Samsung. Samsung has always had a fantastic fast charging capability. I think they were the first ones to do it, if I remember correctly. And then again, you can get up to a 50% charge within 30 minutes. That's not bad at all. The only drawback to this new iPhone, if you're going to be switching to iPhone, is that their newest thing that they're doing, which may be a make it or break it for me, is that now they are not giving you the wall plug. So it used to come with a regular wall plug with your cord. That way you can charge up your phone. It is a USB Type-C, and I have plenty of fast charging wall plugs, which really isn't really going to be a problem. But if I were to switch over, I kind of like using the stock wall plugs, the stock chargers. But unfortunately, now they're going to be sold separately. So if you're an individual who has who doesn't have a fast charger wall plug, well, guess what? Now you got to go back out and you got to rebuy one. It's kind of a pain. I mean, they're also going to be trying to save money by not including the wall plugs, but I don't know. Now, another thing I'm a little bit disappointed in is actually the amount of hertz that the screen is actually going to be able to project, according to some of these specs. It's actually telling you that it's only going to be able to reach up to 60 hertz. When some Samsung devices or some Android devices can actually go up to anywhere between 60 to 120 hertz. Now, you don't really know. I mean, if you're not an individual who doesn't understand or doesn't really know what hertz are, it's basically your refresh rate, on how fast your refresh rate goes on your actual screen. So whether you're navigating through it or you're switching between pages on your actual phone itself, you can actually tell a difference. If you're a gamer, you know exactly what that means. From 60 hertz screen to 144 hertz. You understand it, you get it. But for an individual who doesn't, basically it just makes it a lot faster, a lot more responsive, a lot more snappier. And then they do have their new chip with A14, the Bionic chip for the next generation. Now, other than that, the reason why I'm really wanting to get it is that I've always had this opinion about iPhones and Androids, okay? Apple and Android. And I've always felt that an Android was more for the tech-savvy individuals, the people who like to customize their phone to an extreme extent if they wanted to. I mean, there's so many apps, there's so many widgets, there's so many things that you can actually do to an Android device if you have one, to where you get to make it your liking compared to an iPhone. iPhone has its limitations on the customization that you can actually do on the. Now, anytime I've always gotten an Android, I've always been very happy about their camera, some of the applications that they end up doing, some of the apps that they don't even tell you about. But after about 6 to 8 months, I tend to stop using those specific applications and its capabilities that I originally got it for. Compared to iPhone is simple. It's beautiful as far as the screens go, the design, but it's more for an average based phone, an average user on the phone. Okay, for an individual who wants to talk and text and just respond to certain emails and social media Like, I'm not all about the customization anymore. As time goes on, I start to realize, hey, this really isn't for me. As much as I love Android, I've always been a Samsung supporter. It's getting to the point where the simplicity of a phone is more important to me than all the bells and whistles that another phone can do. Uh, Kind of like the new Samsung Z Flip, their second installment, where it's basically a flip phone. They brought it back. Back in the day, we all used to have flip phones. Well, for the generation that remembers flip phones, uh, open, close, and it was real small in your pocket. You didn't have to worry about a big old hump in your left or right or back pocket, whatever that needed to be. You know, you don't have this big old tablet looking at you, and it's just it's been more of a hassle because, again, don't get me wrong, I love my phone, but if I could make it smaller, I would. And for this specific size of a phone, a 6.1-inch screen, I think that's the perfect size that I'm gonna be able to just throw in my pocket. And not only that, the way that they built this phone, it's close to the hard metallic, uh, the metallic build from the iPhone 5, which I actually had for a very significant amount of time, for a short, well, for a long period of time, until I ended up going completely over to iPhone. Until I completely went over to Android. My apologies. But again, the simplicity of just talk, text, only the apps that I needed. I don't need all this other crap that I don't use on my phone. I don't need all the bells and whistles, a bunch of settings that I don't really need to be going into. Like, it's cool, it's great to have, but the more that I continue to look at these two types of phones, it's almost like my life is more pointing towards iPhone just because of how simple it is. Now, the only reason why I haven't switched phones at all since the S10 Plus, because they have the 20 right now, and they have the Note 10. They have the Note 10 right now, is because of a couple reasons. One is the headphone jack. The S10 Plus still has a headphone jack. They didn't start taking those away until the new Notes came out, and they don't have a headphone jack. I still have a bunch of headphones that I just have lying around here that I can just end up plugging in and just listening to my audio devices without having to worry about these. It's great. I have these, truly wireless headsets lying around. But again, those run on batteries. It would just be easier for me just to plug it into the headphone jack and you're good to go. I don't need an extra dongle. I don't need an extra attachment to be able to make my headphones work. Now, don't get me wrong. We're all going wireless at this point in time. Wireless headphones, wireless mice, wireless keyboards. But again, sometimes the simplicity of just being able to pick up something and just being able to use it, you can't beat it. Another reason why I wanted to switch over to iPhone is because of my family. Some of my family has iPhones, and I would like to kind of be in their inner circle, being able to communicate with them a little bit better. iPhone comes with the iMessage. It comes with certain applications that only Apple has in their utility belt, per se, and it's very nice to have. And especially, as like I said, if the family has it, it makes it a lot easier to be in the circle. But other than that, those are my little reasons why I'm thinking about switching over. It would be a very big decision. Again, Samsung, I have been with Samsung for 10 plus years, possibly 15. I've always been back and forth with Android, but I've been with Samsung for a very long time, and I would hate for me to switch over because they just can't. I don't know. I just kind of feel like they're losing their touch a little bit. Something about Samsung has been changing, and I just can't put my finger on it, but I can feel it as a consumer of Samsung. But I hope you liked my discussion on the specific phone. If you are an Android user, is this a phone that you would possibly be switching over to? Um, if you're an iPhone user, are you excited about the new iPhone? Let me know in all the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff for me if you don't mind. And again, don't forget to check me out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays where I do stream at Deltron_210. I'm going to catch on the next one. But again, let me know what you think about this new iPhone that's coming out. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Peace out.